All right, welcome. Go ahead and find yourself in a comfortable seated position and close your eyes. Turn your palms up, really surrendering the shoulders away from the ears. And take a couple rounds of a full inhale and a long surrendering exhale. Just feeling into what's going on in your body, what's going on in your mind, what's going on in your emotions. Kind of use that inhale to reach up and grab all those things, and exhale, pull them down through the body, send them down into the earth, letting them go, even if it's just for a yoga class. So if you find that your mind starts jumping ahead of you or behind you or around you into life off the mat, or if your heart starts doing the same thing, you can always use your breath to reconnect and ground yourself into the present moment and into your body. All of that's going to be waiting for you when you get off the mat. It's not going anywhere. So carve out this little time for yourself. Constantly bringing yourself back to presence. Let's start with some seated poses today to start with the hip, hamstring, quad requests that we've had. So I'm going to have you have your left leg in front of you. And it doesn't really look like it from the video, but it is parallel to the edge of my mat. And my knee is off to the left of my left hip, and my foot is off to the right of my right hip. And I'm flexing my foot to protect my knee. And I'm going to flex the right foot and put it right on top of the left knee. So stack it right on top. This is going to look different for everybody, and it's going to look different for you day by day. There's days where my shins sit flat on top of each other and I can fold forward. Today, clearly not that day. So if you're finding that this is uncomfortable on the knees, make sure your feet are flexed, first and foremost, and then support the knees if you need to. So bring a block under the knee, bring the block between the ankle and the knee over here, whatever you need to do, stuff it with a pillow. And then you want to work on sitting upright. So if you're tight in the hamstrings and low back, it might be looking a little bit more like this right now. I want you to work on sitting upright. Use a wall or a chair, tree, whatever you got, to get yourself upright. And that might be plenty for your body. If it feels like you need more, then you start to just tip forwards, trying to keep your low back long. So resisting temptation to round into the low back. Instead, take the heart up and over the legs. This is a passive pose. We're just going to hang out here for a couple rounds of breath. And then if you've tipped forward, you're going to come back up. So you're sitting tall. And my left hip or my left knee is on the bottom. So that hip is pinned. So I'm going to take the left arm up. So if you're swapped here, it's just remember whatever leg is on the bottom, that arm is what comes up. And you're going to tip away. Opening up into the side waist. That spot right above the hip is where we want to get. So that essentially between the belly button height and the hip bone is where we're really aiming for here. Come up. And then switching sides, unwinding the legs, send them out, give them a little shake. And then swap sides. So now my right leg comes down, my shin is parallel to the edge of my mat. My left leg comes on top of that, my feet are flexed. If you need any support for the knees, you can go ahead and place that support now. And we're working on sitting upright as tall as we can. And then if you need more, you start to tip yourself forwards. Again, it's a passive pose, so we just come to our edge and breathe. And it's a hip opener, so we might have to pray a little bit. I'm coming up tall. So again, whatever leg is on the bottom, in this case, it's my right. The right arm comes up, and then I take it over. And I'm looking to get the tissue right above the hip bone. Open up and stretch. Up. Unwind the legs. Stretch them out. Roll your ankles. Internally and externally rotate the upper thighs. We're going to do a lot of internal external rotation today. All right. Coming up, top of the mat. Be hip width apart. Arms relaxed at your side. Feel your energy moving down through the hips, into the legs, and down into the feet. And imagine that your feet root down into the earth like tree trunks. We're gonna inhale, reach up towards the sky. And exhale, bow forwards all the way down into your forward fold. Let the head go. We're going to hang out here for a minute. You need to bring some height under your hands. You can grab your blocks. And I just want you to play with your weight for a second. So you're going to shift the weight towards the front of the feet and then to the back of the feet. So you want to take yourself kind of to the edge where your heels almost peel up and where your toes almost peel up. Back and forth. You should be able to do it without supporting yourself with your hands. And just notice how as you move and shift your weight, the stretch changes in the legs. So we're going to build a little bit of a flow here. You can take your feet slightly wider than your hips. I'm coming to one of my favorite squat forward fold movements. So find the weight slightly in front of the arches of the feet. So there's just a tad more weight in the ball of the foot than in the heel of the foot. We're going to inhale, lengthen the spine, and feel free to have your hands up on something if you need to. And as we exhale, we're going to drop the hips down and try to keep the spine as straight as possible. And then we inhale, back into the flat back. Forward fold. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. So take it as low as you can go comfortably. Good, and now we're just going to take it to 90 degrees. So we inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, drop your butt back to about 90. And then inhale, lengthen. Exhale, halfway down. So the spine stays nice and long through the whole process. Now we're going to add to this. So we inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squat. Keep your hands on the floor. Inhale, left leg back. Exhale to a squat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to a squat. Inhale, right leg back. Exhale to a squat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squat. Inhale, left leg back. Exhale, squat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squat. Inhale, right leg back. Exhale, squat. Should hurt like a bugger. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squat. Inhale, left leg. Exhale, squat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squat. Inhale, right leg. Exhale, squat. Last round. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squat. Inhale, left leg. Exhale, squat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squat. Inhale, right leg. Exhale, squat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squat. Inhale, left leg back. Exhale, left knee down. Relax that foot over and hang out for a second. Explore your hips. It was a lot of quads. So move around. Notice where your tension is. And now I want you to drag your left knee forward so that when you come up, you've got nice right angles, okay? So my left knee is right under my hip. My right foot is right under my right knee. And I'm just gonna tip my weight slightly forward to kick my left heel up. I'm gonna grab that foot and pull up, heel to glute. And then I'm going to start to take the weight forward maybe. And as I do this, I want you to think about driving the head of your femur, the head of that left thigh bone, straight forward. Release the foot. Now stretch your hips backwards and walk your right foot forwards. So we end up folding over top of the right leg. I like to keep the ball of the foot down because it gives a nice stretch through the top of the ankle. Rebend that right knee. Tuck your left toes, lift your left knee up. You're going to walk yourself all the way across to the left, to the other end of your mat. And then set the right knee down. Take a little moment of exploration. And then slide that right knee forward. Sit yourself up. So again, we get our nice 90-degree angles. Take the weight slightly forward so you can pick up the foot, pull the heel towards the hip. Hug it in nice and tight. Tuck your tailbone in under you so your butt reaches down, your pubic bone lifts up. Drive your right thigh bone forwards and then sink a little bit into that left foot. Keep the belly lifted. So a lot of times we do this. We're like, oh, go into my front foot. Well, that just takes my belly into my front foot. But in order to really get into the hips and the quad, you need to tuck the tail under, pull your belly back, and drive your thigh forwards. Release the foot down. Take the hips back, walking the left foot forward, folding over top of the leg. From here, you're going to turn your left toes towards the right, turn your head towards the right, swing your right foot behind you so you end up in this half straddle position, okay? And then bring yourself upright. So I'm on top of my right knee, my left leg is out to the side, and the outer edge of my left foot is parallel with the top of the mat. So I'm really working here the outer edge of the foot, stretching through there to get the pinky toe side of the foot to seal into the mat, thinking about lifting my inner arch. So this is an amazing practice for all of our warriors, okay? Where it's so common to see people rolling into that inner ankle and you're just gonna piss off all the arches of the feet. So this non-weight bearing position is an amazing place to practice that and to start getting more openness through the outer ankle. Also very helpful if you're in the forest and hiking and you need more mobility in the ankle. Left hand under the left thigh, slide down, right arm up and over. Oh, get into that whole right waist. Now notice if when you do this side bend, for some reason your butt goes back, like it's gonna help you in some way, okay? Get the booty under you. Imagine that it's a wall that you're sliding against. Take it straight sideways. I don't know why the butt likes to go back, but it does. So you're lifting through the front of the pelvis. You're gonna come up, bring the right hand down onto the mat, take the left arm up and over, take a nice long side stretch. Option here to come flat onto that right hand, push into the left foot, maybe pick the right knee up in front of you. Bring the knee back down, left arm up, come all the way up. Good, and then switch sides. Left knee down, right foot out. So we start with really firmly rotating that foot, so tucking it under, stretching all the way across the top of the foot and the outer ankle. Think about lifting the arch of the right foot up. Sometimes this can cause a cramp if it's not something you're used to. So if you need to take a second, work it out with your thumbs, go ahead and do that. And it's a nice strong right leg here. So think about how strong that leg would need to be up in a warrior pose, okay? The same amount of energy going into the leg, even though it is a non-weight bearing pose. Right hand comes down the leg, left arm up and over. Again, get your butt and under you. So lift through the whole front body. Come all the way up. Take it down. Right arm up and over. Stay rooted into that right foot. Enjoying this side stretch. And if it feels appropriate in your body, you can lift that left knee up. Let it down. Press and come on up. And then come onto the knees. Walk yourself back so you're just in the back half of the mat. And then walk the knees wide. Come down onto your hands. And I want you to keep kind of feet walking out, knee walking out, feet out, knees out. So you can't go any further. Flex your feet. So your heels are pretty much just slightly past your knees or in the same distance as your knees, but they're not behind you, okay? They're not inside of the knees. They're either in line with the knees or very slightly wider. And you're gonna come down onto your forearms. Push your hips up and back. So we're not rounding and going down. We're actually arching our back and sending the hips straight back. And then bring your weight slightly forward. Pull those toes in towards the butt. And now you can round your back and come backwards into a wide knee child's pose. Walking yourself up. Bring the knees gently together. And take a normal child's pose. Roll yourself all the way up. Come into the middle of the mat. And then again, we'll take the left leg out. So we find that same halfway position. And then you are going to bring the right hand. Actually, no. Let's bring the hands down in front of us and just swing that right foot out. So now we're in warrior legs, crawling upper body, defeated warrior upper body. And I want you to just find with your hand support here where that right foot needs to be for you to be able to come as low down as you can and have the right knee on top of the right heel. And then you're going to put your weight in your left hand and put your right hand on your right knee and just gently push forwards and outwards. Look at your left foot and notice if you're caving into your arch. Really lift the arch, roll into the outer edge of the foot. And now roll yourself up into warrior two. Lifting through the front of the pelvis, dropping through the back of the pelvis. The belly lifts up and the low back lengthens down. Good. Rotate yourself. So your left arm is up, your right arm is kind of helping pull you back to have the idea of your right hip moving back and your left hip moving forward. So we're really kind of augmenting that rotation that happens. And then take the left hand down. The right hand can go up and we twist, or the right hand can come onto your right thigh and assist you. Now, the important thing is that you're going to notice, probably if you look to your right butt cheeks in the way. So you want to pull the right side of the pelvis backwards. And that's going to give you space to twist. Good. Both hands come around. Let's straighten both legs. Turn both toes towards the left side of your mat, straightening the legs and bow forwards. Shift your weight forwards and backwards. And just notice again how that shifts the stretch in the legs. If you find a spot that's really sore or really tight, you can hang out there for a moment. And then keep the weight in your hands, but bring the hands right under your shoulders. Turn the left toes out. Bend the left knee and start to play with your foot placement so that you can get yourself down nice and deep and have the left heel under the left knee. And then left hand comes onto the left knee and you're going to push it forward and back away from you towards your butt. Roll yourself up. Oh, beautiful. Into that warrior two. Just breathe here. Let the hips sink straight down between the two legs. And the legs are trying to pull your pelvis apart, creating more space for your hips to drop down into. And we're going to find that rotation. So left arm pulls back, right arm sweeps up and forward. So we're really augmenting that twist that has to happen. Right from our right pinky toe up through our right pinky finger. Sweeps forward, and that whole left side pulls back. Left hip pulls back. Bringing the left arm down. Right arm down, left arm up. Look back at that left booty. It's probably in the way. Pull it back. So left arm can stay up or come onto the knee to assist you in rotating that ribcage around. And walk yourself straight through. Straighten out the legs. Bowing forwards. Walk the hands out in front of you just to give yourself a little bit of a spinal stretch. Let the head completely hang. We're going to walk ourselves back around to the right foot is forward. Into that lunge. Bring the hand on the inside. And then step that left foot back up. Drop into that half squat. And then inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bow down. Bend your knees, roll your body up. Do a little dance. So we just have very quickly done a lot of hip work, very deep hip work. So we're going to come into dancer pose or a variation of dancer pose depending on what's going on in your body. So you're going to shift your weight into your right foot and catch hold of the left toes. Okay? So this is typically where people end up. And I want you to think about lifting all of the tissue of the thighs, the pubic bone, the pelvis, the abdominals, the chest. All of that is lifting up, and then all of the back body is lengthening down. So shoulders, low back, booty, hamstrings, okay? See if you can find an external rotation with that left hand. So take the hand to the inside of the foot and then squeeze your inner thighs together, okay? So it kind of looks like I'm lying on the floor here. As I squeeze my knees together, it's gonna pull my left shoulder open. And the left rib cage is gonna wanna rotate, resist that. So keep pushing the left rib cage forward, engage the pubic bone, up, 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 knees together. This might be plenty on your body. If you so choose to take this deeper, you're going to kick your toes backwards into your hand. Now, as you do this, think about continuing to squeeze your midline, because a lot of times we kick back and it's like, woo, that leg wants to go out. I want you to stay. You should be able to do this right up against a wall and not push into the wall at all, okay? So if you were right next to the wall and you started to kick back, that knee would not bump the wall. The wall yoga is so beautiful. It shows us all of our little quirks. So you're kicking back, maybe you're just hanging out. Maybe you take this kick and start to kick back and lift up. As you do that, keep lifting through your belly, so don't drop into your belly. Keep lifting, sending the quad, the standing quad and the pubic bone forward as if someone was pulling on it, and then someone else is pulling on our toes back and up. Okay? Make sure that knee is not popping out to the left. And then slowly, controlled, bring everything back to that most basic stance, which is still super hard. And then all together, we release. Shake it out. Other side. So we bring our weight into our left foot, heel that right foot up, reach back, grab hold. Everything engages. So we start to lift through the front body, drop through the back body, hold the knees in alignment, squeeze them together. Try to take hold of the foot from the inside. So right away, that pulls the right shoulder backwards. Resist the rib cage. Send it forwards. Keep lifting. So the thought is if you were doing this up against a wall this way, nothing would touch. Okay? You'd be able to keep it all contained backwards. So we're just right here. This is plenty. Maybe we start to continue to squeeze through the midline and start to kick the toes straight back. So really we're just stretching the shoulder, stretching the quad, engaging the glutes and hamstrings. And then maybe we start to also lift up. And we do that without tipping forward, without dropping our belly, spilling over. Easier said than done. And backing off, lifting as you back off, back to starting, and then releasing. Shake it all out. You really start to pay attention to your poses and the places where you tend to spill over in your poses, everything gets so much harder. So if you're exhausted right now and you're ready for Shavasana, I hear you. You've got 10 more minutes. Okay? So let's start. Actually, let's come on down to the mat and do a little bit of IT band work. So the outer hip along with a twist. So I'm going to have you sit on your right hip. Okay? So you're on your right hip and you're facing the left side of your mat. So you're looking at the top of your mat, left side of the mat is where your knees are pointing. You take your torso to point that way too. Your hip points to the top of the mat. This one is always confusing for the brain. It's more brain yoga than it is body yoga. So just bear with yourself if you feel a little ridiculous because it's hard on the body. So left leg is the top knee. It's going to go straight back to the end of your mat. Okay? So think like model on the beach pose. This right leg is now going to reach straight out in front of you. So you've got a 90-degree angle. Left top leg, back of the mat. Right bottom leg, left side of the mat. We're going to flex both our feet and straighten those legs out nice and strong, as if you were trying to push a door open with both of your heels. You're going to take that left top hip, fold it down towards your right inner thigh, okay? And now rotate your torso to look at the top of your mat. So immediately, everything wants to collapse. I want you to push through those heels. Stay active in the legs. Rotating your chest towards the top of your mat. You can stay here. You can come down onto your forearms. If you are super duper duper bendy, you can take that left arm under you and try to get it to the floor. Oh. Most important thing though is that your feet are flexed and you're actively pushing through your heels. I like to play with this pose a little bit. My right leg that's out to the side, I'll internally rotate it a little bit and then push the pinky back to the ground. And as I'm doing this, I'm kind of looking for where I find the most tension. And for me today, it's right there. And then I just breathe into it. You're going to come up, drop onto your hips. So now you're kind of in this 90-degree straddle and just bend that right leg, put the foot on the inner thigh. We're going to take a side bend. So we're still kind of geometrically even on our mat. So our left foot is going straight back, our right knee is going straight out to the side. And now the left shoulder is going to come down on the inside of that left foot. So take your elbow, push it in there, and then use the elbow to peel your chest open towards the sky. Up to you, if you just want to relax the hand down, take it behind the back, take it up, take it over, grab your toes, whatever you want to do. The only thing I don't want you to do is in this desire to get a hold of the toes, round yourself. This is a different pose. We're going to get there in a second, okay? I want openness, as if you were along a wall. Come on up. Keep your pelvis where it is. Keep your sitting bones on the ground, butt cheeks secured. Rotate your torso towards your left foot, okay? Push your left thigh down and then lengthen over that left leg. Now, I do like to assist myself with my left hand here. You can't really see it, but it's behind me and it's pushing. So My pelvis is kitty corner still. I'm twisting into the left side. So my low back, you can see, is open towards you guys. And then I use my left arm to push myself around, and my right hand grabs hold of the outside of my left leg to rotate me over top of that leg. Come up, and now you're just gonna scoot your butt square. So the knee still stays up to the side. It's more of a tree pose kind of thing going on here. Pelvis is square to the left leg. Left leg is in front of the left hip. Right knee is dropping open and out. And then I'm going to take this up and over the left leg once again. Now, I would suggest taking a second to windshield wiper this left foot. Notice, oh, what does it feel like if I turn out versus turning in? For my body, turning in gives me a much deeper sensation. I feel like I'm getting further in life. So just know that in your body. Look for the place where you get the best sensation. And by best, I mean worst. And now engage your thigh, your left thigh, push down as if you're trying to push your knee through the mat. Beautiful. Roll it up. Okay, so other side, we're already facing the other side. We just need to get our knees to point out to that side of our mat. Chest, we look at the top. Our right leg goes back. Damsel in distress on a deserted island pose. Left leg comes out. Both feet flex. Both legs reach. So push through those heels. Right hip now is going to fold down towards that left inner thigh. And we're going to start to rotate our torso towards the top of the mat. This is going to happen. Resist it. Push through your heels. Use your hands to torque yourself around. Keep pushing through the legs. So the hands are trying to pull you one way and the heels are pulling you in opposition. So you can be here. You can be here. You can try to run yourself over. Ugh. Whatever works for you, I don't care, as long as your legs are reaching long. Keep checking in with those legs. It's like every 10 seconds they try to relax. So keep reaching through them. You're going to walk yourself up if you're not already there. And you're going to plop your hips down. So we end up in that 90-degree angle again. Bend the left knee. Just pull the foot in without changing the pelvis. So we're still kitty corner on the pelvis. Turn yourself to look at your left knee. Bring the right elbow down in the inner right knee. Flex your foot. Peel the rib cage open. So push the right elbow into the right knee, rotating the torso open. And then figure out what you want to do with this hand. You can just hang out, behind you, up, over, go for the toes. But again, stay open through the whole chest. We're not rotating. We're up against a wall. Make sure that right leg is strong, flexing through the foot. And then come up. Keep the pelvis where it is, booty sealed where it is. You're just going to twist the torso towards that right leg, and then use the hands to rotate you as you pull over top of the leg. So left hand comes across to the outer right shin. Right hand is back here, helping twist me. And I'm twisting and pulling myself and pushing myself over top of the leg. Nice and long, as if the crown of my head was eventually going to touch the big toe. Maybe it is. Flex that right foot and try to push the right knee down towards the mat. Rolling up. Now we're going to scooch the pelvis around so that the hips are square to the end of the mat. Right foot is straight out in front of us, and then the left foot is in the right inner thigh, and the knee is pointing out. We sit up nice and tall, reach up and over the leg, folding down, and then windshield wiper those toes a little bit. Internally rotate, externally rotate, and just notice where you get the best stretch. And again, engage that right leg. So push the quad down through the leg towards the mat. Roll up. Extend that left leg out in front of you. Lift up. Fold over. Think about taking the crown of the head towards the big toenail. Pull your shoulders away from your ears. Engage both legs and push your femur bones down to the mat. Roll yourself up, but keep your legs nice and strong. Tuck the tailbone, keep those legs strong. Think about pushing your heels as if you're pushing into the wall. Carve your belly out and start to roll back. Roll back, reach through the heels, roll back until you reach the mat. Relax for Shavasana. A well-deserved Shavasana. Take a couple deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. Flushing the body again, using the breath. We inhale, grab anything that's not serving our practice right now. Exhale, send it to the earth. Deepening your breath. Feeling your fingers and your toes, arms and legs. Take a nice stretch from heels to toes. Gently bring the knees to point to the sky. And then bring the knees into your chest. Rock side to side. At the backs of the knees. Rock yourself forwards and backwards. Rock yourself all the way up to seated. Closing your eyes, taking a couple more deep breaths. I'm going to bring your palms down at your heart center. Taking a moment to honor your body for everything it does for you. All the things it does without you having to think about it or ask it to. So easy to be frustrated with our physical body and to forget how freaking magical it is and what a gift it is. And just take a second to send out some positive vibes to somebody in your life. Maybe someone who's struggling with their body right now, an injury or an illness. And if you can't think of anybody, just send it out into the world to anybody who needs it. Thank you so much for moving your body with me today. Namaste.